You know, we've been working, so Michelle Long, who is my dear partner and friend and colleague and sister and everything, she and I and another group of people created something called the Wellbeing in Business Lab in Oakland. It was in a beta testing experiment. And what we did is we used the work of the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley, Dr. Kelton and his work, and it's just brilliant. And it's about what makes people well. And they did the scientific version of what makes people well. They put all their science behind it, and it was people. They used all kinds of people, different geographies, and you name it, all over the world. And there were these 4 pillars that they came up with that we call pillars of what makes people well. And the first pillar was purpose, self, being connected to self, being connected to self, and how important that is. And when we're connected with self, how that makes us well. And then being connected to other people, like real connection, not transaction, but connection. And how that, the role that that plays. I mean, we know that as babies, we come on this planet, and if we're not touched, if we're not held, if we're not connected to people, we can't be well. I mean, the whole prison industrial complex is based on that separation, separating people in prison from their families to break them down. Solitary confinement is, to me, one of the most inhumane things on the planet. It's keeping people from being connected because we have to be connected. And so connecting to another is another part, like real connection. And a third pillar is when we've act of generosity and kindness. Some of the most wonderful moments in our lives is when we've been generous, because it's two-way. You give to somebody, but it gives back to you on such a scale, and it really opens up our heart and makes us well. And then the fourth pillar is the connection to something bigger and greater than ourselves and to nature. And the role that that plays is just, we know how important that is. And so that is kind of the look into the 4 pillars and how we take that and bring that into business and how we are able to take that view. And there's different, what we're going to do in the workshop is look at those pillars and really take a moment to take each one and go deeper into them and see how they play out in our lives or don't, or what's there and what could be enhanced, and how can we cultivate it, and how can we deepen our connections to any of those. And so because once we have well people that are well connected to self, to others, generous, and to the planet, we're going to have a different society that's really well, and our businesses are going to reflect that.